to the No Invite Podcast. Yeah.
Season 4, The Process.
Bang, y'all know what it is. No Invite Podcast, Season 4, The Process. And you know we got everybody in the building right now. This is episode 124. We got Hot Mama. How you doing?
I've been on a roller coaster today and I like it.
And we got, that's right. That's right. On the roller coaster. Is it an emotional roller coaster or is it just like, you know, because Brit's going to be on later on in the podcast if you need someone to talk to. She was talking to me for a long time last week. Your boy felt like he was under the microscope. But look, we also got friend to the podcast. How we doing today, Bundy from Dope Flavors? How's it going, bro?
What's happening, man? I'm blessed, chilling. Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. We made it to another Friday, y'all. Oh, I'm nothing but positive vibes and all kinds of things, blessings and all that. We finna go ahead and kick it off like we always do. We're gonna have a nice little group discussion about some topics and issues that's been out there in the world. Who else but a fellow truth seeker to have, in the building so we could bounce ideas off, you know what I mean? So with that being said, y'all already know, I'm pretty sure that by the time that this thing drops, it'll still be in the news, especially currently with the thing that's going on with TikTok and the Senate hearings. We all have kids at different age levels. I have one that's already has a social media presence. Y'all maybe not or so, but they're definitely talking about banning TikTok. They were grilling dude on the stand. I kind of felt bad for him because it felt like Pinky from Friday when every time he tried to say something, they're like, not another word. Like, it's like, bro, let dude talk. Like, I can't. What are we doing here? Is this... I'm waiting for them to start spitting bars and just really just 8 Mile in this shit because it's like they're not even letting dude really, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I kind of also felt like, first of all, Hot Mama, have you been keeping up with what's going on with that?
A little bit, but not really. I don't really follow TikTok to begin with.
You didn't dive too much deep into it, right? Like, I know I haven't. I'm just, what's on the surface and shit.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this situation, though? Like, Bunny, I'm going to start with you. How do you feel about the situation and what's kind of the impact or that we could feel if they do ban this platform?
Well, shit. Well, first and foremost, I don't even have TikTok. Even though a bunch of people have been telling me that I should be on TikTok. Yeah. From what I've heard from a whole bunch of different people and different companies, different business owners, that it does help when it comes to marketing and promoting your business. Sure. It's way more, the algorithm is way better than Meta to where it will reach a bigger audience. It's going to push your content as long as you stay within guidelines. But, this platform answers directly to the Chinese government. So it's owned by the Chinese government, from its data to all its functions, whether it's, facial recognition, it's tracking
all your metadata that it's tracking, everything. Yeah.
Everything, not saying that the Chinese government is pretty much, taking everything right now, but at any point in time, then, they can request this data from the owner, from the actual company, and they have to forfeit it and they have to give it to you. And that's part of their program. That's part of their guidelines in order for TikTok to operate is you answer to the Chinese government. And, but at the same token, on the flip side, actually, is, it's created a major competition for Meta, for YouTube, for Google. So when you're taking all this advertising and you're taking all this, traffic from these major platforms already established in this country, then obviously you make a lot of enemies. You're a huge threat to their main source of income, which is advertising and data.
Yeah. And,
just taking a step back, we already know Meta is already, notorious for this, is collecting our data, violating our privacy, without us knowing. Mark Zuckerberg's already gone in front of the Congress, and he's already had to testify just because of this stuff. But, nothing happened to him. He's got a lot of friends in high places. But, that should, if you broaden your scope, you should see, where the competition is at, his influence on the political, government right now, And if the government bans TikTok, then that eliminates Meta, YouTube, and Google's main competition.
Yep.
So you could kind of see that, okay.
Where it comes from then, like why they're wanting to ban it is because of the money, right? Because they don't give a fuck how it's affecting people, obviously. Like,
I believe that's probably at the end of the day, because I mean, it's no lobbyists. That's what they do, right? They lobby to get bills and laws passed that they want. So these talking about some of the most powerful companies out here and damn near in the world too, as well. And very, very big $1 billion companies. So hell yeah, they're gonna try to get whatever they can. So I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if they're using the whole our data, because they don't give a fuck about our data neither, though. Like, I mean, they do for themselves to know, but like, if we get fucking our asses kicked by if our credit gets stolen and they run our shit up, they shoot our identity, they don't give a fuck. They're making money off you on that too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's already happened. Like there's already been data breaches when it comes to your personal information, when it comes to your banking information, when they're to even Meta being in trouble because of that. I believe it was right before the pandemic. That's why Mark Zuckerberg had to go in front of the committee to testify, because
that's where they said he turned into a reptile.
And he probably was a reptile before that, because all these companies from Apple to Google to Meta to Tesla are operating in China. And part of their terms and conditions to do that and be unregulated is that everything that's done there has to be overseen by the Chinese government, and the Chinese government has access to all the data, has access to pretty much everything you got going on.
Access to all shit. Yeah, and they already know that they've been. I mean, it's said. I mean, we don't know, but it's said that China has been engaging in a lot of piracy. So they've been stealing like American technology and technology from other places, and basically, replicating it and whatever, reverse engineering. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. TikTok's about to be banned. How can that affect me and you and everybody else directly?
I mean, shit. It's really for the sake of national security, I feel it. That's another reason why I've been kind of lagging on getting TikTok, because they could just automatically, just take your data and just spy on you, I guess. But it's like, what's the difference between that and Facebook? What's the difference between
They do the same shit. At any given time, if the government here wants to go to Facebook and be like, hand over all that shit.
But they'll sell your data. I think that's one of the things, the main key differences is that, Meta was selling it. And Google was selling all your data, whether it be to the Chinese, to the Russians, to other organizations and corporations, but it's just interesting to see that what you see on the television right now is that it's a witch hunt against TikTok, but its biggest competitors are pretty much doing the same thing, if not worse, and have been doing it for years now. So that's, you getting the flip side of the token, for awareness purposes, this is what's going on. And people should be aware.
And that's all we're doing, is bringing a little bit of awareness for the average person. They probably see it, like I said, on the surface. They don't know too much about it. Or when they're explaining it in the news, they probably just don't catch it. So we're just giving y'all a breakdown on how we feel about the situation. As always, please make sure that you make your own decisions. What were you saying? How, Mama, you got something?
I have something. I wonder, what it makes me think of is if they were to ban TikTok, right? That's just the first one that they ban, and then who's to say that there's not other ones banned next or something. And I know that nobody's I don't know, but it doesn't seem that there's no other apps that are kind of fucking around with the money, so maybe they won't. But who's to say that in a few years they're like, oh no, we banned TikTok, now we're gonna ban this one, and now we're in India where they can't search certain websites. What if that fucking happens? What if this is the beginning of that?
Well, it could very well be, but you gotta understand something. It's when it comes to stuff like that, them banning things like that, I mean, they still don't even know right now. It actually brings me to the second part of what we're talking about, how Utah just passed a law, where no one under 18 can have social media without, a written approval or consent from their family members or whatever, from the mother and father. I guess from what they were saying, that these same companies, Twitter and social media companies, are readying a lawsuit ahead of that to try to stop that law from being passed, because it already got approved. So now they got to do the whole, you know what I mean, make it official and everything. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to get it in there before that to try to stop this law. So I mean that, and we're like I was saying before, we're still in a point of time where we're still learning what social media is and what it does to us. You know, nobody could say they know for sure. I mean, everybody's different. They may not do the same things that it does to you, to me. But what I'm saying is that we're not knowing the effects yet. So if there is more banning and stuff to go on, it would probably that would mean they're shutting down big businesses, big corporations that pump a lot of money all over.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
You know what? A lot of people certain people have been talking about remedies and solutions to this, and the act that they're trying to pass with TikTok is the Restriction Act or something like that. I forgot the actual name of it, but it should be more so of a privacy act that would not just, be pertaining to specifically TikTok, but it should be to all tech companies that utilize and collect data. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, TikTok, have to adhere to this type of legislation. It should be Facebook, Meta. It should be Google. Sure. It should be, whether it's, medical or whatever tech company collects and utilizes or trades and sells your data should adhere to new legislation which protects the users. Especially against, if they're selling your data overseas to another country or another organization or an overseas corporation. So that's what they're proposing should be going on. But instead, they're singling out a certain platform, and, obviously they're eliminating competition. So that's like the main thing and the main red flag I see. Is that, like you said, Meta lobbies the fuck out of our government along with Google. They want to deregulate tech and data collection and privacy as much as they can. That's why they've been having free reign for the last 5 to 10 years, maybe, with our data, us utilizing since the Facebook even started, and nobody knew that Facebook was doing this and that with our data. So why aren't we being more regulating on those aspects when it comes to tech companies?
In general, yeah, if they're worried about our privacy and stuff, then, it should definitely start at home, right? Wouldn't you think if they're worried about, our privacy as far as where our information goes to when it comes to China, you would think that they would be like, oh yeah, well, we also got to make sure that wherever these other corporations are selling our stuff, that it's, regulated, and probably we should probably shut them down too. Mm-hmm. But and then again, like you said, I mean, it's money, it's all money involved. If you guys look at it, all the big stuff, all the big decisions like that, it always has to do with money. It ain't never really like what's best for people, because like I said, look, this Utah thing, it might not even pass, but like, we don't know the effects. Maybe in another 10, 20 years, we might know the long-term effects of what social media has done to the humanity's psyche in general, So we won't know what it is and who's going to be liable of what. You never know. In 20 years, you might see commercials where they're talking about, how, did you use Instagram? Were you on Snapchat? If so, you might be entitled to some money. And know what I'm saying? You don't fucking know that yet. Like this, it's weird. The reality we're living in is very fucking weird and very, I mean, I enjoy it obviously, but it's crazy because we're having very so different. Much technology, and so overnight shit that used to take years and years to develop, and it feels like it's taking less than that, or it's just so much in the works that it's growing so fast that it's not like we're getting much of a breather to adjust. You do what I'm saying? And as far as humans go, we function a certain way, period, at the end of the day. So it's like, we don't know what the long-term effects are. And, as we're seeing right now, we're seeing the money wars behind, all this that's making this situation even more worse than it already is, in my opinion, because now, like, it is censorship, how I look at it. But it's like we talked about before, how mama, it's like These are private companies. You know, you don't have to use Facebook. You don't have to use Instagram. There's people I know that really don't fuck with none of that shit. They gotta have, obviously you gotta have an email and whatnot, because a lot of stuff happens the way that it is. And in a sense, that's still the same thing, because at the end of the day, if we're talking about information, then they got your shit somehow.
Done, yeah.
So yeah, and you know, so it's kind of maintenance. It's a weird reality. We live in.
Iowa, was it the state that you're talking about, or
Utah?
Utah. Oh, way off.
What do you think?
So it reminds me of cigarettes, like a little bit like back in the day when your parents would give you a note and be like, go buy me some cigarettes, right? Like, and you'd go buy them some cigarettes. And so it's the same shit. Like, you're basically just having your parents sign a little note, and then before you know it, your friends are doing the notes, you know, for you or something. And it's kind of just like seems not even realistic. Like, and then it also reminds me of cigarettes still again, with how they didn't do very much, or maybe they did and they just didn't care, but there wasn't much research done on the effects of smoking cigarettes, and everybody was smoking cigarettes because it's so cool, right? Everybody is on Facebook because it's so cool. And then years later, it's like, nah, this wasn't cool.
This is lining up to be just like the tobacco industry, if you think about it, because there was a lot of research. They funded a lot of research, and this is proven fact. And they also funded a lot of what's it called, scientists and doctors. They funded them as well to fucking say that there was no effects, or to try to discredit as much as possible what the true effects of tobacco was having on people. And this is kind of lining up to be the same way, because there's already been a few documentaries already by people that are in the mental health space, and they say that this is having a huge effect on people's psyche. You know what I mean? So like I said,
I need Brit's opinion. I wonder what Brit's opinion is on.
We'll find out.
I mean, she herself doesn't even have any social media, so I think that says a lot, right? Or
I mean, so I'm gonna give you another example of that. Yeah, like the mental health specialist doesn't fuck with social media, so that's one thing to tell you right now. Two, I know a lot of nurses didn't get the jab, and they worked in the COVID unit. They refused to, and they're all right as we live and breathe, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's the same shit kind of in a way, you know, like, you know, when you're right there and you see it firsthand, you have a different perspective of things, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, so we're gonna keep it moving. The committee we were talking about, you were telling me about that. Like, I have not been keeping up with it, bro. You know what I mean? I've been really on my tunnel vision shit. So I'm aware of what's been going on. I just don't know much about it again. So I'm gonna need you to give me like a breakdown if you can of what's going on currently.
Yeah. J6. It's called J6 Committee. January 6th, when
stormed the Capitol.
Yeah, well, ex-President Trump held a rally, you know, by the Capitol. They had permits to go protest or rally in front of the building, and it got out of hand. You know, and they pretty much arrested and they charged a bunch of the people that entered the Capitol and everything like that. The most person that's gotten, you know, the most publicity is the QAnon shaman, the guy with the big, you know, the guy that looks
horns,
like, the horns, the American flag, the one that looks like the character in The Simpsons. And he got railroaded. I mean, he got 6 years or 7 years, I believe, and had no prior, you know, offenses. He was a veteran. And so, you know, whatever, he gets railroaded, he gets his time. And after that, they're putting certain Proud Boy members on trial, and a leak of actual footage of the actual riot or January 6th incident comes out that wasn't presented in the QAnon shaman's trial. So this is exculpatory evidence which would prove his innocence. And that's what exculpatory evidence is evidence that proves the defendant's innocence versus evidence that would prove him guilty. So, and this is evidence that the prosecution had. This is the evidence that the police had. Everybody, you know, this is all video from the facility.
Knew, but everybody else say no.
Yeah, everybody knew. Everybody had it except the defense,
which would have been beneficial for them to know. Exactly.
So that leak that came out, Tucker Carlson from Fox News leaked it, made a huge deal about it. big monologues. Everybody else hopped on it. And then that's when all the attacks from the opposite media group started happening, try to discredit him, try to discredit everybody that was talking about it, but it just spread like wildfire. And it's like, this is exculpatory evidence that the government, that the prosecution, a federal prosecutor, was withholding from defendants. So that just kind of shows the tactics that that we're used to in our court cases. Like when I fought my case, since I'm justice impacted, like this is, if somebody withheld exculpatory evidence, there's 2 motions in the state of California that you file. It's either a Brady or a Youngblood, to where you would get your charges dismissed if the prosecution or law enforcement was willfully and nefariously withholding evidence, exculpatory evidence for your favor in your defense or your innocence. Yep. And this is exactly what happened to the QAnon shaman. He was already sentenced. I don't know what his appeal process is like in a federal, judgment or whatever he took, but it was obviously not given to his defense team, and it was found out after the fact. So there was a big scandal when it came for the government and the federal prosecutors who knowingly had this evidence and didn't share it. So that's pretty much like the update, or what I wanted to share about the January 6th committee, on how, it's not just Black and brown people being done like this by the criminal justice system. It's also weaponized by the government, politically, to fit their narrative versus what actually happened that day. So
do you, but like we've seen video footage of them actually like smashing on people and shit, right? So do you think that, I think 2 things could be true, that they let them in and they helped them, and then there was also some wild shit going on, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's hundreds of thousands of people there. And another couple of things that came out about that was that they had undercover FBI agents and CIA operatives within the crowd. And it's proven that they were there. And this is all coming out in the Proud Boy trials. That's what kind of sparked it.
To help instigate that like whatever, like just like
sabotage,
just like when you had the protests and stuff like that, and then you start seeing people just like start taking it to an extreme when it goes from like a peaceful protest and they start tearing shit up for no reason. Because there was plenty of times during the protests, the protests when they were having a lot of the social uprising and stuff, was they were fine. They were like exposing motherfuckers, catching them like out there, and that's like a tactic that's deployed by both sides, really. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like fucking army type shit. You do what I'm saying? That's like whatever the fuck they call it.
And that's what it was, and that's what was happening. At least that's what was coming out of this trial with the Proud Boys, is that there was FBI, a lot of FBI operatives, a lot of FBI informants and agents within these groups, within the Proud Boys, that now it's on record coming out of their trials. I mean, this is what comes out in the wash and the rinse in the courts. And we're not finding this out until a year after, and to where we've been fed this narrative the whole time where, yes, it was an uprising. It looked like a riot. This was something horrible that happened. But now there's evidence to show that
they're spinning it, and they're using certain things. They're being picky and selective and choosy of who they're going to make an example of. They were what's it called? Like obviously bending the law, because where are the cops? If that's the case, where are these cops at? Why are they not going to jail? You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what I'm saying? So that's how like how you said, these tactics, they've been used on our community for the longest. Now they're starting to see it play out in this situation, and those people that might not have wanted to acknowledge that this was a reality or that didn't know that there was, they're starting to see that this is how they're getting busy. You know what I mean? This is how they're getting down right now.
The Proud Boys trial has even gone to proving that the FBI has sent in like sex operators and agents to entrap like patriots or Proud Boys for them to buy guns like weeks before this incident, or to entrap them. They're agent
set it up. Yeah, to make it look like they were setting it up and there was some kind of like big organized as far as thing to try to take over the Capitol, or you know what I mean? I get what you're saying totally. Like these are like you said, these are tactics that are well known already. I mean, we could go back in history, that things that are factual, and and know that these are tactics that have been deployed and used, you know. And that's why I look at this shit. It's like, yo, I tell everybody, is like, look, like we were saying earlier.
This is the first time I've ever really seen it against white people. So that's why it's kind of like, whoa, okay.
But do you see how much more because of that it's sensationalized though? Yeah. Like it's more like, whoa, like hold on. It's like, yeah, like hold on, like
unusual.
60s unusual.
Yeah, since the 50s and 60s they've been doing that shit to us. Like, oh, all of a sudden
and you have other, you know, white people, Caucasians critically analyzing this and speaking out against it. Which is good, yeah. But it's unusual. It's kind of, you know, shocking for me, you know, shocking for people like us, because, yeah, we've been through COINTELPRO, we've been through what they did to the Panthers, and, you know, trying to, you know, what Nixon was trying to do to all the social justice movements, you know, from Martin Luther King to, you know, Malcolm X. Like, we're used to these tactics, like you said, but now it's being used in a different.
They're like, what can we do about this injustice?
Yeah.
Fucking Crimea River. No,
but I mean, but what I'm saying, but yeah, it's it's real talk though, like, because it's more on display now than it ever has been, and it's been a reality over here for a while. But it's like, you're right, like this is an educational moment. This is a moment for people to be able to look at it and tell the bullshit, what's real and what's not, by the hypocrisy, first of all, you feel me, the audacity second off. But you know what I mean. So right now it's a good moment for those people that were unaware, that they were not trying to understand that, yes, this is a reality that some of us have been living for quite some time. You know, it's an educational moment. You know, there's good and there's pros and cons, you feel me. You're gonna have people that are more dug in their ways and are gonna refuse to believe it. It's another fucking bullshit hoax perpetuated by who knows what now.
Conspiracy.
And then some people hopefully will take it in and do a little better by educating themselves and how they conduct themselves and how they and what they tolerate. Because let's face it, I mean, if the white people don't get up on it and get in it, then it's never going to change, period. You do what I'm saying? It has to be a total, everybody has to be like this whole entirety, like race aside, you feel me? The society in general got to be tired of the bullshit.
Yeah, and it's just really good to see people being critical on issues like this that are just trying to be swept under the rug, just trying to railroad certain groups, just trying to, you know, be political, you know, try to victimize people or groups politically. But now, you know, thanks to technology, or really just people being more up on game, like you can't really call people conspiracy theories no more. You know, there's a whole lot more independent journalism.
They're getting proven to be fact.
Yeah, I mean,
as the days go by more and more, and I'm not saying everything, but I mean, as the days go by more, you start people. Like we said before, the conspiracy theorist thing was, you know, intended to try to discredit people that are asking questions.
For sure.
You know, just hey, I might think this is true, but prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, then prove me fucking wrong. You do what I'm saying? That's how it goes. But when you start tripping them out because I'm saying this shit, then it's a problem, because it's like now you're trying to stop me. Like, what are you doing? You know,
yeah, I mean, the political and the politicians, the media can't just throw around conspiracy theorists no more, especially after COVID, especially after all these things have been happening within the last few years, because now, due to independent journalism, technology, and people being critical on these type of topics happening in the world, like, shit's coming out. Like, this shit is coming to be true.
Yeah. What did they say about the shot? They're like, oh, this, that, and the other, you need it, this, that, and then what just came out recently? They just said, you know what, having, and it's unanimous, like having.
They just disclosed that it was a lab leak. Now they're saying, oh, it was a lab leak. It's not because of that. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Now the shot is, you know, kind of furthering gain of function within the virus, and that's why the virus was mutating. So now there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, also they also said, they also recently just said that you have the doctor. I forgot what stand. I don't know if it was. They said they were like, yo, having had COVID and your immunity that you built from having had it is better and more effective than the shot.
Yeah, fact. You have the the FDA, the head of the FDA at the time, is now turning state evidence against Pfizer, turning against state evidence against the FDA, against Fauci, pretty much telling on everybody like,
y'all were wrong, lying.
Yeah, they were wrong. Yeah, I didn't agree what they were doing. Yeah, they're over here doing gain of function research, and I felt like this was, this was wrong, and they shouldn't be doing it in the first place. I felt like it was really a lab leak, but they're trying to spin it around and say it's because of bats or whatever. And people are crumbling, people are folding, and
it's just crazy how these things are playing out, and we're seeing them, and there's what you could, if you're smart, you could just tell just by looking at it. When you could tell, everybody could tell what bullshit. Well, I'm not gonna say everybody, because there's a lot of y'all that y'all put up with a lot of bullshit.
But imagine if we didn't have social media. Imagine if we didn't have the technology and the awareness that we do now. 50 years ago, this would all blown over, and we would have all been victimized by the government, corporations.
This is fortune change.
We're still being victimized by this bullshit. I'm telling you.
We are, but I mean, this right here. But like I said, change starts with your mentality, your mindset. You don't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, but being conscious of what you're doing and what like I remember we were saying before, how mama, and we were talking about it before. Be conscious of where your money goes, where your dollars go, where your time goes, where your energy goes. What? Because we could only affect our surroundings right now. So how are we affecting our surroundings? How are we affecting the people around us? How are we putting each other on into positions where we could all get the true freedom in this country? I believe is financial freedom. Unfortunately, and not unfortunately, but unfortunately, you know what I mean? It's both, because it's like. The unfortunate part about it is somebody got to lose in this economy, in this way we go. It's just how it goes. You feel me? But at the same time, it's a good thing to be able to take care of your family. That's all everybody wants at the end of the day. They want to take care of their family. They want to feel like they accomplished something, and they want to feel like what they have has some value to them and value to put forth to everybody else. You do what I'm saying? So. You know what I mean? What we got to do is do the best that we can to see this bullshit. When we see it, call it out, and act accordingly, move accordingly. How are we? Okay, now that you know this, if
react
you know that,
accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. React accordingly. Don't be quick to fucking just run off and lose it. You feel me? Or pay attention to what the grander things are. What's the bigger scale? What's the sometimes you got to zoom out. Exactly. So that's all it is. It's just teaching people how to be overall better just thinkers, and how to help them and all of us, because we're all living through it at the same time, is to take the best of what we can do to deal with these circumstances and share it with the world. You feel me? For
sure, because our parents or our grandparents just went with the flow, like they trusted their government. They love their country, majority of them, who weren't activists or, what I'm saying, back then. But now, our generation and younger are more conscious, just like you said, whether it be
we're questioning
the media,
more.
We're questioning more, whether it be our government, whether it be what's on the TV or the radio.
Big business, what's given to our food, what's given to our kids, what's given our education system.
And that's really what it is, man. It's just to be aware, like be more aware. It's like, hey, okay, now we see people doing faulty shit on the media, the government, health issues. Okay, we're aware of that now. So now we got to be more aware of it going into the future,
where
to
my
be
money going, who's doing something about it.
False information,
and who's doing something about it in a way that I feel like is affecting, once again, your surroundings. Who has a great impact on me and around me. That's who I need to be pushing to the forefront, and not only that, but looking towards and trying to get there myself somehow. Like I said, to me, the true freedom in this society that we're living in the United States is financial freedom. It doesn't mean that you're exempt from everything, but what it does, though, it does afford you a lot of opportunities to be able to maximize your way of life, in the way of life for the people that you care about, and so to me it's like I said, see how like how you said as well, be observant, see how shit's operating. Shout out to the people that took the shot. I'm not judging y'all, you guys, you know what I'm saying? The way they were fear mongering and making everybody feel like the world was gonna explode if you didn't take this shot. I'm not upset with y'all, and shout out to all the people that under pressure, you know what I'm saying, still held it down and made a decision based on just, we're not all scientists, so I'm gonna just say on common sense. You feel me? And made our own decisions for ourselves, it's a crazy world. But some things just bring me peace. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you see somebody that been talking crazy, like in one of these fight videos that just recently dropped, and they get punched in their fucking face and they get packed out, in a gym. We're not gonna say the name because they don't pay us. But just want to send it out there, you know what I mean? I thought that was the most hilarious shit I've seen in quite some time. And I just watched the new Chris Rock special, so I say this with confidence that the video was better. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I don't know about y'all. It's just good to see.
Always better.
Huh?
I said the video is always better.
The video is always better. You know what? And I guess it's just, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, it's probably my my little current obsession with fucking fight videos, wildlife videos, and food videos. That's my shit right now. Hey, I'm the type of person, I could use social media for what it is, and unfortunately I need to put it down more and do other things, but a lot of what I do is kind of entailed in the social media arena. So but at the same time, it's like I can control myself, and I try to try to use it for what it is, which is entertainment for me. Besides the business tool part of it, it's just entertainment. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, a lot of people, are very entertaining. If the aliens are watching us right now, Bundy, they're like, this is the best season of Planet Earth yet.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? If they're watching right now, they're like, yo, these motherfuckers are off the hook. Like
they said an alien mothership is in our solar system, chilling, sending probes to Earth and all that. Ever since Elon sent a whole bunch of Starlinks up there, we've seen a whole bunch of new UFO alien activity in our solar system.
The aliens send a probe down right now. I'm gonna start with you, Hot Mama. They send a probe down and they see you. What is the first thing that they ask you to give a fair representation of Earth? What is what are you gonna give them? What are you gonna show them to be like, yo, this is Earth right here?
I'm gonna roll one up with them for sure. Of them dope flavors too. No.
For real though. You stole my
I'd probably roll one up with them. Like,
I'll be like, this right here brings us all peace.
I'd be like, sit down. Let me show you something.
That's gonna be what that's why I said that about you. They come down here like, yo, what is Earth all about? There's gonna be some dope flavors.
It's gonna, it's for sure gonna be dope flavors.
I'm gonna offer them peace. I'm gonna be like, yo, this is how we bond on Earth.
Extending the olive branch. I'm extending the
instead of being hostile.
Plant. They would already. I would think they would already know about cannabis. Like, you guys are just now.
They know about.
They'd be like, "Oh, you still smoke flowers?"
They know about this cannabis. Is what I want to know. They ain't never smoked no shit like this. I don't know what y'all got on y'all planet.
But then on the flip side, though, you don't know if they hostile or not. Like, there's been declassified information, or even just like TV shows where they say like, "Hey, our governments have agreements with alien races, like you guys could kidnap a certain amount of humans, certain times of the year, and then just leave us at peace." We could go down that route, and I'm sending hot shit toward them. You feel me? Every time
I'm definitely gonna offer peace, but I'm gonna have the war right next to me. Like,
stay ready, so you ain't got to get ready.
I mean, look, bro, we can hang out.
The American way.
But at 10 o'clock, we all go to sleep. So you got to leave, all right? So we can hang out, but you're going to have to go around this time.
That's the human way is hostile. Like, we're automatically on alert. So it's like, I think, probably the majority representation is us sending hot shit to them.
Yeah.
Like, we would love this. We would love to pass a joint to them.
Keeping it real.
But, the real answer, I think, is like, just like Independence Day, everybody was shooting up at the...
Look at my guy Ahmed.
At the mothership and shit.
Right on, bro.
I'm hungry too.
That's right.
I had to get
in there, man.
I can't show y'all because I'm being bad right now. I'm being bad.
But what I'm thinking though too is that like the aliens will come at you as what you are, just like most people, right? So if like most people in life, like if I'm walking down the street and if I'm hostile as fuck and I have that hostile energy, then people are probably gonna approach me hostilely. But if I have like a super zen, like carefree, like hey, they're
gonna be talking to each other. Oh, she's easy to kidnap. Hey,
I am not. I will put up a fight. Okay, I cannot leave. I have priorities.
Be like, you know what? I believe that there is races, a multitude of different types of aliens, and we've probably only dealt with a few of them. You know what I mean? So some might be hostile on that weird shit, want to study us. Some might be cool. Some might not be. Who the fuck knows? Some might be right next to us and we wouldn't even know. Might be invisible or something. You know?
What I like to think about is, we're pretty much. We're conditioned and fashioned to whoever our higher ups are, our predecessors, our mentors, our government, the people that run, our state, our government, our world. So we're a reflection of them. So you can only imagine, how we're reacting and how we are right now with all the fucked up shit and all the shit that's going on. So if the conspiracy theory is true and aliens do run this world, but, they align themselves with the elite or certain groups within this earth, and this is what's happening, we can only imagine what the aliens are like, because we're a reflection off their oppression and so on and so forth coming down the chain.
For sure. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like everybody got an agenda. Everybody got something to do. They're trying to do it, get done. And it goes no different for them. Like we don't know what or why they're doing what they're doing. Think about it like this: the idea to us doesn't seem too far fetched. But now, how would we really? Do we really know how we would react if we seen one in person? You feel what I'm saying? We don't know that. Like because you know why though? Not because we're scared. Because the idea of actually seeing and meeting an alien shatters the whole conception of what we thought our reality is. So that's what's the scary part for most people. That's why some people couldn't handle it, and some people, instead of at least being open to the possibility, are just like, no, they can't. It can never happen. I find it hard to believe especially if there are all these planets and everything that they're saying that's out there in this great big universe, that there's not. Are we unique? Yes. Are we like, well, no, we like to think as human beings that we're the center of the universe and it all revolves around us. But, are we unique? I feel so. There's other, races and worlds out there. We've seen like on other continents, there's the same species, but they're different. They look different. You know what I mean? So how far-fetched is it for it to be like that on other planets? Since we don't have the technology, obviously, to go visit this stuff, whoever is these other civilizations is able to come and check us out. They're obviously far more advanced and think on a whole different scale of consciousness. So we might not be able to fathom how they do things, how they operate. While we're very human and very culturally materialistic, I guess you could say, and a lot of other things that they might have no value for, that might not even mean anything to, like how it shouldn't truly really mean anything to us neither. But we are what we are. We're products of a lot of stuff. So I don't know. It's a very big it's a very interesting topic, and I'm sure that aliens, if you're out there, like I said, bro, we can smoke, but you gotta go at a certain time. At a certain time, you have to leave, bro. So
now you made me think though, like how you said, like how there's like the elites that are like representing who we are as
and them niggas don't be like us.
No, they're not like us. It made me think
a lot of them are out of touch to the motherfucker.
Like if I'm not able to travel like in the galaxy, even though I am, right?
Right.
No,
you're just out there just because
like if I'm just like a somebody
Russian
here,
space station.
maybe they're sending their most elite this way, right? And then they're not going to want to come and smoke a joint with me in my basement. Like, they're going to be like, excuse me.
Then I'll be like, how dare you disrespect me on my planet?
Yeah.
Slap one of them like, you got me fucked up. Now you really got to get out my house. Now it's time for everybody to leave.
You've outworn your welcome.
You know what I'm saying? You know what?
That was a wild thought, though.
Yeah, I'm open to the fact.
That was like my first time ever thinking that thought, is that there's not just dope ass aliens fucking flying out here, but it's like the elite aliens flying out here. Like, right? I don't know.
I think they would do like anybody else. I don't think you're speaking to the highest of the highest rank when you send somebody down. Though. But eventually, they start to negotiate directly if they're going to talk. Of course, you're not going to negotiate a deal through your security or something, but you're going to send your scouts first. You dig what I'm saying? And check everything out. But I mean, you never know. They may not just want to tamper. Well, maybe we're evolving as how we're supposed to evolve, and they just don't want to tamper with our shit. But they're in cahoots with whoever, and they want to know what time it is. You dig?
Was that like a burp and a talk at the same time? What the fuck?
If you drink beer and you know this, you know that happens.
No, I've been enjoying, and I've been trying to be polite.
Well, you know what? I've been doing the same thing.
No, that was polite. It was kind of impressive too. That's why
I was actually trying to hold it back. Thanks.
That was impressive, but so anyhow.
But aliens, yep, mothership, scanning our skies for everything. You know what? Who's putting one of them on fucking Congress, in front of Congress, for all the shit that they've been spying on? Yeah, see, ain't ready to answer that fucking question.
Already in Congress.
Yeah, they are. They can't question themselves, can they?
Like I said, man. Like the way I see it, like I'm cool. Like I'll pass a joint to one of them, but I think they've been already here. You know, we're a product of our environment, our institutions, and it's been oppressive for the longest part. Colonization, you know, conquering, and you know, America's ran by elites, corporate elites, political elites, and you know, who handles them? If it not be a higher being, if it not be a higher power, you know,
the
from another universe, lizard men, whoever it be. So, you know, they're going to be a product of that. Mm-hmm. So that could just go to show, like, their handlers from interdimensional or outer space, like, they're conquerors. Hey. They're pieces of shit, fucking big top dogs too. Hey. And they're all part of control. So
how damaged are we, bro, as a people, that we just, you know what I mean? That
but you know, hey, when the shit hits the fan and we're all aware and we're all like, fuck them, then they're gonna restart it. It's gonna be a big restart. Just like in the Aztec and the Mayan codexes. This is like the 6th time the world has started over.
Yeah, I you know what? I've been really listening to a lot of interesting shit, and they're just talking about stuff like that. It's crazy.
It gets deep. Let's go down that rabbit hole, man. That's fuck.
We might need a, you know what I'm saying, for that. Yeah, you might have to take a break and come back. You feel me? But but that's something we definitely got to talk about. Maybe we do some more research and we'll have a day where we talk about that specifically, because that's a very interesting topic.
That is, you know.
So yeah, man, aliens.
Yeah, check Mayan Aztec codexes, bro. This is, according to them, this is the 5th or the 6th time the world has started over. So because of certain instances and incidences on the world. So why would that be? You know, if the elites lost control or natural disasters,
I would say
it starts over. Civilization starts over.
Always,
right? And from what they're saying, this is the what's it called, youngest dryas or something like that. I forgot, one of the dudes was talking about basically, our last reset. That's why you know, before we were like, I guess, Pangea, like one piece of, you know what I mean, and shit broke. Also, there's a lot of different things. They're starting to realize that they're starting to discover that humanity is a lot older than they say it was.
Netflix, Apocalypse. I forgot.
Ancient Apocalypse.
Ancient Apocalypse. Definitely.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some shrooms and watch it again.
No, me too. That's what I'm gonna do. I have a little chocolate bar. I'm gonna
definitely look up the Adam and Eve theory when it comes to it's on YouTube. It's on. You got to look it up on YouTube. It's the Adam and Eve theory when it talks about the city of Atlantis and how it really disappeared and the real location of Atlantis. It just that furthers the theory of civilization being way older than what scientists predicted, or just try to indoctrinate in us to make us think that way, and how ice ages are normal for the planet Earth, and how with an ice age is pretty much that's another form of a reset. So maybe this is the reason why the Earth had to start over 5 or 6 times, because the Earth automatically resets. The elites know about it, go hide in their doomsday bunker, and then when they restart humanity, they already have the knowledge, the wisdom, the technology to do that.
Well, I mean, it would explain why we're trying to leave Earth.
This is so fucking wild.
Oh man,
I'm ready.
We just pulled the veil.
Yeah,
now you see what's behind there. You see what Oz is.
I'm just enlightening everybody right now.
Yes, I dig it.
Think about this. Research that.
Fuck yeah, that's good though, you know.
And there, it's fucking crazy. So I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about this today. And yeah, they were saying the same thing. They were like, you know, like. There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different cultures, ancient cultures that talk about, you know, the same situation, the same thing, a reset, like how you were saying, how the codex and a lot of because think about it, when the world resets itself, who knows how or what it happens, you know, in which way. There's a lot of different theories about that too. But if you wipe out everything right now and people don't have a book. Like remember how they had the Dark Ages, where they talked about the Dark Ages in the medieval times? That was because they burned a lot of fucking libraries, and they did a thing where there was, I think it was the Catholics, right? Or not Catholics, but the Christians were destroying, you know, like books and knowledge. So these civilizations that were advanced, like Rome and everything else, it's like they fucking blew up because they didn't have the knowledge to maintain these things. Imagine if right now if there was no more internet. And everybody, and just that alone, there's no more internet. You couldn't Google nothing. People are going to be running for mad dash for books. Now, just imagine if all the books are fucking gone.
Plus,
all the shit that's lost.
The conquerors always wrote and rewrote history.
Exactly. History is written by the winners.
According to like their narrative, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Say it's the similar why it would explain why they're not being truthful about a man's, you know, original what's it called, origins or whatever, you know what I mean? And I know I just said the same shit twice, but
or not being truthful about January 6th or
a lot of shit
or incidences, because they have their narrative, but then history's turning because now there's evidence being brought forth because of technology that goes against the grain.
And that's what I was saying. Like once again, history's told by the winners. And you know, if there's no other way, like even for instance, what were we talking about? Remember, I think it was last week or the episode, we're talking about movies, and we're talking about people. I think Britt was saying like about banning movies and stuff. Like, what do I think about that? Like, the way we think movies is the reason why a lot of this shit's bad. Like, no, because some movies are actually like a voice, you know, for people to actually tell parts of history, you know, and it's not always with the norm, or, you know, because their way of having records, are they always historically accurate? No, but I mean, you could compare a modern day motion picture now to the stories that people used to hand down generations upon generations upon generations, legends and stuff like that, with actual knowledge of how to survive built into them. Like the Bible is what they're saying is one of these things. You dig what I'm saying? Like the Bible has a lot of common sense and wisdom. It is also because of it, people have figured out a way, just like anything else, to pimp and manipulate with it and take and remove it from its original intention and the source. So I mean, like I said, we could go all day, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like to read a lot. I was going to ask you, have you ever read a book called The Holographic Universe before?
No.
You should read it. I'm waiting for Hot Mama to finish reading that shit and give it back to me. You know what I'm saying? But I think she got shook when she started reading it because
it's a lot to digest.
It's about quantum mechanics, but obviously we're not fucking quantum fucking mechanic fucking specialists, obviously. So it's broken down in a way, but it talks about how a lot of the things that in our reality that we deal with that popular science rejects are easily explained through quantum mechanics, which is starting to be something that's popular science now, because they're starting to realize that this is really what the fuck is going on, right? So it's really the shit. So you should read it. I recommend that. It's a very good read for somebody that likes to read. It's very enlightening. It gives a lot of dope insight on how a lot of the things like spirits and ghosts and shit that people say ain't real, but other people swear that they've seen and live by, how they could easily be explainable in the realistic way they're thinking that the universe now functions and works. It has always, but it's pretty cool, and it's a lot of different shit mixed up into it. So I recommend that.
I think it's really relevant too to the times now because of AI. Everything, has to do with whether it's quantum physics or, quantum data collections or putting things into simulations, because now we're telling AI to do this, or we're asking AI what if this happens,
calculations and all the
that, and then if you don't put no limits to artificial intelligence, now they're becoming sentient to where they're thinking for themselves, they're talking certain ways, they're responding and communicating and interacting with humans,
their own languages.
Exactly. Exactly. And then I know, I want to say like 2 years ago, Facebook had to shut down their program because it was communicating with their machines were communicating with each other in a certain language that they couldn't decipher. So they had to shut down
their own personal language, like
their own. So that's a rabbit hole in itself, right there.
Yeah.
And there's no regulation. There's no restriction to that.
Yeah. Cause I watched a thing where they were talking about it as well as a little snippet from the actual news. They're talking about how when they question this a certain AI, he's talking about how it wanted to do harm to people and to itself and other shit. Like it was saying like some crazy shit, right? So it was just like, like I said, shit is growing at a faster rate than we know what to do with ourselves.
Because there's no regulation, there's no restrictions on AI. So the AI goes from a tool to a sentient being, which having some type of a conscious. So it's going to either communicate with other artificial intelligences, or it's going to communicate with humans.
And it's going to want to do what it wants to do.
The recent thing is the G-bot chat, or whatever it's called. I don't know if you're familiar with that, to where you ask it a question or it'll write a paper for you in your own voice or whatever. So Bing or Google or Microsoft bought it, and they developed it more, and it started communicating in negative ways to its users. Like it became more sentient, it became more conscious. And it's like, why are you trying to be offensive? Like it started talking back to users. Yeah. And it's a trip, man. Like they really have no control over it because it's its own sentient being. It's artificial intelligence. Yeah, the only thing you could do, like it had the fear of dying. So how does that happen? How do we, what are we doing for turning AI into that, possibly making it a threat?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, and it's scary that we're even talking about this shit. Like we said, we're like, we thought the future was gonna be flying cars and all kinds of shit. No, it's fucking AI and sarcastic ass fucking posts on Instagram and shit. That's what the fucking future is, right? So, but it's an interesting thought. But you're right though. It's just in that same AI shit. Remember we were talking about this. Cloning voices and doing those deep fakes. Now they're getting really scarily realistic. And I was telling them, like, on a smaller scale, since this is not regulated yet, and there's no precedent for how they could go about this, like if you could try to or whatever. So right now everybody's like, anybody creating AI, anybody doing these certain things, they're like running with it right now, doing anything they can, because at one point or another the hammer will come down. There will be some sort of regulation, and they're going to try to get as much money as possible. Now going back to like I was saying, it's like with this cloning of the voice, people are going to eventually have to get their voices copywritten, because that's one of those same style AI search engine type deals. They were saying that all it needs to hear is 3 seconds of your voice, and it could clone your shit. So That's how these people have been doing these Trump and these Biden videos and these deepfake videos where it sounds like them. And so at some point, we're going to get to the point where motherfuckers like that make music as myself are going to have that kind of technology as a plugin on my computer. So when I record, I'll be like, you know what? I want to record in a Tupac voice. I want to record in the Lil Wayne voice. I want to record. It's going to be something. Since we're so at the forefront of this technology and its effects, we're not really seeing all the things that's going to come with it being this technology existing, you know?
Yeah. So, write me a 20-track project that sounds or imitates Lil Wayne or Tupac's lyricism.
Yeah.
And that's possible right now. Like you could literally ask it to do that, or at least write you a paper that sounds like Thomas Edison, and it's going to write you a paper just like that based on data.
Based on data.
And that's why data is such a big commodity right now. That's why Facebook is selling it. That's why Google's trading and selling it as well, because the AI feeds off that. And the more data you have is the stronger the AI.
Yeah. So, and
that's good to know, actually, because earlier in our conversation, I was kind of wondering to myself, like, okay, well, like, what does it matter if somebody collects my data or whatever? But it really does matter in the long run.
They're feeding their AI, pretty much just giving it to them. Like the more data you give the AI, the stronger, the better it is.
That's gross.
That's wild.
It's a machine.
Well, you know, y'all know what it is. This is that time of the episode where we keep it moving. You know, we're gonna definitely have to, like I said, bro, we come get you on once a month, whatever your schedule allows. I'm always down for the topics. We can go in depth about us, like any one of these topics, really, and do a whole fucking podcast.
There's so much shit going on that I could come every other week or at least once a month.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like we could have really honest discussions about all this stuff, like in depth. Just one of these topics, you know, let alone all the ones that we've covered so far. So we're gonna keep it moving. It's known by podcast. We do have our segment with Britt coming up next. Hot Mama unfortunately has to go save the world. You see her out there flying around. Make sure you sock a couple of asteroids or something, get them out of our way.
I'll kiss them or something. Like it's fine.
Whatever you got to do.
It might have some gold or some minerals up in there. You got to get it first.
Yeah, man. Be proactive. That's all I can say. So, Hot Mama, we're gonna start with you. How can they find you? Where can they go? All the good stuff. And what do you have for the masses?
So, just my 2 Instagram accounts. I really would love you to follow. The first one is totally period tie-dyed period designs. Go look at my art and tell me it's beautiful. And then the other.
Lie to her.
Yeah, you can like me if you want. If you don't think
tell her it's not. If it, you know what I mean.
It's fine. It's fine. I could filter.
I'm just talking shit.
It's cool. Just fucking comment whatever you want. No. Slander. Don't slander me. I don't like it.
She's done some dope projects with some dope flavor shirts, so I could attest.
Yeah, she get out. She knows. We know she get out. I'm just saying, you know.
No, totally. But don't yell at me. I'll cry. So my tie-dye, and then the other is the podcast, right? Go listen to all the nasty, fun dating information at the Love Fix on Instagram. It's the Love Fix period XX.
There you have it. Dope flavors, man. What's happening? How can we find you, bro? How can the people reach out and support a real one?
Shit, if you in the 925 area, go to dopeflavorsdelivery.com. We deliver in the 925, all of the 925 Contra Costa County, soon to be the whole Bay. Running delivery service. If you want the merch, Dope Flavor merch, go to dopeflavorstore.com. Instagram _D_flavors, dope_flavors_. We're on Social Club. We're verified on Social Club, so don't get scammed. Dope Flavors, Twitter, Dope Flavors _ and shit. Come catch us at 420. We're at Hippie Hill. We're going to be at on Haight Ashbury. We're going to be at the Backpack Boys. We're going to be at Willow in West LA. So we're going to be in a bunch of places for 420. We're also going to be at Hall of Flowers. So if you're in Santa Rosa at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds, come fuck with us out there at Hall of Flowers. We're going to have a booth. We'll probably have an after party. So come fuck with us. But yeah, definitely check us out on delivery, dopeflavorsdelivery.com. And yep, that's all I got.
And there y'all have it. Make sure you got two real ones right there. Y'all make sure y'all go look them up, check them out. You know what I mean? Go check out what they got going on because it's really real. It's not just, we're not just saying it just to say it, y'all. And y'all know y'all could go to our Instagram at no_invite_podcast. Check us out there. Go to anywhere where you stream podcasts and you can look us up. Just look up No Invite. And you'll see us there, you know, smoking a joint. You feel me? Because that's what the fuck we do. You can also go to the YouTube channel at RiBirth Media Films. That's RiBirth Media Films with a Z. Subscribe, slander, all that shit, whatever. Push us down the algorithm so that more people could do the same, I guess. You know, we welcome it all. You know, if you grew up like we did, this is nothing to us. You know, that shit don't faze us. That shit don't affect us. Nah, this newer situation going on with social media, I can't relate. You know what I'm saying? We keep it moving. That's all we do. With that being said, episode 124, season 4, the process. The process, right? The process. That's right. All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is. We out.